crowd tonight, ain't it?
I probably will. Not bad. I don't enjoy it.
What?
Prepared.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Columbia County Board of Commissioners to order for this February the 16th, 2016. This time, I'd like to ask our Vice Chair, Mr. Trey Allen, to offer up our invocation.
Would you all please bow your heads? Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful and thankful hearts, thankful for the many blessings you bestowed upon us, not the least of which are living in this great county and this great nation. We also ask that you would look out for those and give your blessing and protection to those who do your service and your bidding, and those who protect us, the first responders, the soldiers serving here and on foreign shores. And we ask for your wisdom for this body before us up here tonight, that we will do your bidding and serve the people of Columbia County to the best of our ability. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, God.
We do have a quorum tonight with all 5 commissioners present. We have a couple of minutes of previous meetings to approve, the first one being our board meeting of February the 2nd. If you're satisfied with their content, we'll accept a motion for their approval.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. We also have the minutes of our planning advance. It was February the 7th. Same thing. If you are satisfied with those, that content, we'll accept a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Mr. Johnson, do we have any alterations to the agenda that have not already been printed?
Just one item, Mr. Chairman, with your approval, we would like to add one item to executive session. It'd be a land matter.
Okay, that'll be fine. And I do have one request to speak, and we'll take that up under presentations. We'll move ahead with the agenda as amended. Again, welcome to each of you for this Board of Commissioners meeting. I remind you once again that these proceedings are videotaped. You may obtain a copy of the disc by making application to our county clerk, who is in a new location, maybe easier to access if you'd like a copy of the proceedings. They'll also be on the website in a couple of days. Remind you, too, that you're invited to speak to this body. If you're not already on the agenda, we ask that you fill out a speaker form in the rear of the room and bring it up to Ms. Crawley there at her station, and we'll recognize you at the proper time during the meeting. We do have a special recognition, very special, is our Employee of the Month, Christopher Matthews with the Sheriff's Office Patrol Division. Commissioner Duncan will make this presentation. Before he gets there, we want to go ahead and express our appreciation for what y'all do in the community.
My pleasure, Chris. Go by Christopher or Chris? Okay. Awesome. I'm going to read some of the comments. Christopher Matthews has been certified in law enforcement for 6 years. He's been employed with the Sheriff's Department for a year. Currently assigned to the Patrol Division. Deputy Matthews has dedicated himself to the Sheriff's Office and volunteering his time as a member of the Crisis Negotiation Team. On numerous occasions, he's gone beyond the call of duty to citizens of Columbia County. My understanding, found him to have a place to stay and time with his relatives. Out of your own pocket, you what? 30s that. All you do.
Much of one, but just want to tell the county that I appreciate the opportunity to work for the sheriff's department. It's my pleasure. Work for the county, and it's any of the other deputies would have done exactly what I would have done. I know they would have. I just thank my brothers and sisters in law enforcement for what they do. Thank y'all.
Congratulations, Wade, and we do appreciate all that you do for the community and the rest of you. Thank you. We have a request from Joseph Galino to come and speak about our plan approval process. Joe?
Chairman, Commissioners, thanks for a few moments. I just want to bring up something. That I submitted a plat called Kalari 1. Went before a committee. I thought it was an event. But Andrew told me it was Public Works or something. No problem there. Came before your Board of Commissioners on February 2nd. I never received the notice of the meeting that it was on the agenda. Never received anything after that. So I didn't know it was here. Now, if I knew it was here, I would have been here. What I understand, it was approved with conditions, but since your minutes haven't been approved, I don't know what those conditions are. Plat goes on to Planning Commission on the 4th of February. The day, Monday before that, I got a notice from Planning Department that said staff recommends approval. It went before the Planning Commission, and it was approved. And then on the 8th of February, 4 or 5 days later, I received another notice that it was approved with conditions, telling me what those conditions were. And I'm stuck with those conditions. Now, granted, Andrew and I are working through that, and I can appreciate that. The problem I got is when I read that, myself and all of Chicago here found out how upset I was with that condition. What's got me upset is that these conditions get put on without me knowing about it. I represent my company in the land development. I am in charge of it. I report to Mr. Beasley. So we're thinking everything's fine. I actually thought that plat was coming before you guys today. And in fact, I think I talked with Patrice for finding out when it was, and Paul Lamonger told me it got approved on the 2nd. I didn't know that until today.
And this is a subdivision plat?
It's a final plat. I understand why the condition was placed, and I'm not arguing the condition. I would like the condition lifted, but if it can't be, it can't be. I'm working my way through that. What's got me is the lack of communication. And I know there's been some changes in the county and people are moving around, and I can understand that. But in my business, time is money. And if I'm losing days, I basically have a plat that I bonded and paid for that bond that I can't use. If I'd known either prior to the Board of Commissioners meeting or at that meeting that there would have been a condition, I may have pulled it, knowing that I might not be able to meet that condition. If I would have known there was going to be a commission on the 4th, a condition placed on it on the 4th, Planning Commission, I may have pulled it from there. Right now, I spent money, about $125,000, cost of the bond, plus whatever that, tied that money up, plus the cost to get a bond. And I can't use the bond until I get the condition taken care of. It's the lack of communication. Like I said it before, I know there's some flux in the county. You guys people are moving around, and I can appreciate that. But it still doesn't help me. And as any of you know, time is money in my business.
I'm a little bit confused by that. Andrew, do you have any knowledge of this situation?
Joe and I spoke about this earlier. Try to get him through committee, through committee. Notifications got. everything should be on.
I don't agree with the condition. Condition is the condition. I'll work through that with your staff. But there's one thing I always want, and I do it with every municipality I develop in, not just Columbia County, but in Richmond, in Aiken, in North Augusta, and the city of Aiken. I want to know when I'm on the agenda. I want to know what's going on. I don't ask for much now. I don't know who I got to talk to make sure I'm getting it. I am getting information from Andrew's group. They do tell me when I'm on the planning. I don't know when I'm on the commission, and I sometimes do not know if I'm up for something or not. I don't know how to go about doing that. I'll find that out. And I get an email or a fax or something that says I'm on the agenda, because I want to hear what's being done. I have to report to a higher authority.
How do we do that, Scott? How do we communicate with folks that are going to be on the agenda?
You know, I think the easiest way is to track the item. We've got some new, I'll say software that is actually going to start tracking these items from really cradle to grave, which is going to help us out a bunch. Does it have the ability for email notifications as we go along the way?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But outside of that, without putting every developer in the world on that, I think we may be able to do that. So we've got some, to answer your question, we've got some new software, I think, that will track the item all the way through and give us a better opportunity to be able to notify somebody via email as to when it's going to come up on the agenda. This is a situation, actually, where we kind of got ourselves in trouble for trying to hurry it up. If we'd have just left it alone, he'd have been a month later, but he probably would have got his notifications.
I'm a little confused that we voted on the 2nd and then it went to planning 2 days later on Thursday?
Final plat.
What happened?
Okay,
That's right.
gotcha, okay.
I'm sorry, if I didn't make that clear,
Yeah, we approved the bond.
Okay, all right.
We accepted the bond.
me today.
Right, I thought you said we approved the final plat.
Oh, the bond.
Thinking-
That was my,
We accepted the bond.
Gotcha.
except the bond. Now, I know the other way, if you're not bonding it, the commission approves it, and then you accept the plat. Am I correct with that?
That's correct. We accept the as-bills. We review the as-bills, and we recommend the final plat be accepted. That's correct. The bond is the only reason y'all got involved.
Okay.
Right,
And that's
okay.
that could be, I'll take a little bit of heat for that, because I actually thought you would be doing it at today and not prior to that. So I can take a little bit of the heat for that. But like I said, it's just trying to get the communication down. Like I said, I'll work with Andrew's crew through the condition, which I'm not happy about, but I can understand it. We'll work our way through it. But if I can just make sure we're getting communication, that would help me a lot.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it, Mr. Cross.
We'll work on that.
Thanks, Joe.
Richardson.
Oh, sorry.
I have a question, and this is of staff. It seems like the bonding thing came about because of the time lapse, and it may be a month or something like that. Is there some sort of way that we can change that, Andrew, so that it doesn't get caught up in this time lapse for a month or something, so they don't have to do all of this bonding or something?
It's a huge question. We've discussed this many times internally of how to help them out. We've talked about it at the DAB meetings. We've talked about it at staff level meetings. It's the million-dollar question, is how to make it faster.
What really has to happen if we want to do that is we have to allow items to cross over what the committees are. So, for example, if they get done and they get ready to turn something in, and it's the management and internal services meeting, which we have a commissioner chairing that meeting. Obviously, you'll have 3 commissioners at that meeting, but that's not an item that would typically come to that. We try to maintain the integrity of those committees so the commissioners can really be involved in what they're involved in for that particular year. If we just start doing that, we might as well just have a commission meeting every Tuesday, which that may be the answer too, is to have one every Tuesday and take it up that way. But that's the issue, is trying to maintain the integrity of the committees without, transferring something from this one to another one on a routine basis. We will do it in extreme circumstances, if we have issues that where developers behind the 8 ball on something, or we need to really help somebody out. And often you'll see that we'll ask you if we can add an item to your committee, and we'll come to the committee chairman and ask them that on a pretty routine basis now. But to do it this way, I think you would have just items from really all over the map on every committee meeting, so that integrity of committees would go away.
Well, I
That's the
under-
decision for the commission.
I understand that, but it seems like the bonding thing is kind of a little bigger issue than that also. Moving forward, maybe before things are ready or whatever, and I don't know if that would change any of that, but it seems like it's more of a bigger ball of wax than what,
Well, it allows them to go ahead and sell lots without all the improvements being in place.
That's correct.
And that's a convenience to them,
Correct.
and to be able to do that. Now, that creates some problems for us that we've discussed several times.
Yeah, and I understand those problems, I really do. It's not our, my company, and it's not our place to try to skirt anything or to leave you high and dry. We want to do what's right. The big problem is you have deadlines. You miss a deadline for your Development Service Committee meeting, you're kicked back at least 2 months, because you have the deadline at the beginning of the month, meetings at the end of the month. Miss that deadline, you can't go to the next one.
Right.
Go through your approval process.
That's right. It's about
Of course,
6
you have the
weeks.
internal approval of plans and things which, and I understand, because my engineer just got screamed at because of what he did submit to this county. I told him if he ever submits that type of thing again, he's fired. I'm not going to be embarrassed that way. I don't see these as-built, unfortunately. I don't have the time. But when I found out what was submitted, I was very angry. I told him he'd be fired if I ever see that ever happen again. But I didn't get any communication back on the as-built. I had to find that out, and that's what I need to know. I mean, I'm willing to come in and whoever's doing it, if it's Andrew's crew, whatever, say, hey, look at this, I'm not going to, we all got to work together.
Yeah, I think we can fix the communication problem. This one was a tricky one. Again, the
It was.
committees got flopped at the exact same month that the plan review process came from under me and went under Andrew. So we were shuffling everything, and one slipped through on us.
And they
So-
came to me and asked me about adding that, and in the best interest of the developer, we went ahead and moved it up, because if not, it would have been another 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So we were trying to help in
Yeah,
that
no,
situation.
you guys did a lot. Kevin Ford did a lot to get it through, so I appreciated that. It's just, I'm just upset, like I said, I got these conditions after the fact.
I understand that.
And
Yeah,
that-
you need to be
that's
here.
troubles me.
I understand. You should be here when your item's on the agenda.
That's all I'm
We can
asking.
work on that.
All right, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening, gang.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then we go now to our consent agenda. These items have been approved by the various committees and received the 3 votes necessary to get on consent. If you're satisfied with this list, we'll accept a motion to approve all of these as one vote.
So moved.
Any items needing clarification? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Go now to our debate agenda. I believe we start out with Commissioner Duncan.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve second and final reading of ordinance 16-01, amending Chapter 82, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 1, in General Division 2, Bicycle Paths, Section 82-22, violation to repeal any conflicting ordinances and to provide for an effective date.
And this is to clarify that sedgeways are not motorized vehicles.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve approve a resolution to execute a Georgia Department of Community Affairs Form 5 certification for extension of existing services delivery strategy and any other documentation that may be required for the extension of the current Columbia County service delivery strategy.
And this is due to one of our cities wanting more information concerning this strategy.
That is correct, and we have to file this extension. We're asking that it be filed until a date in June. Should have plenty of time.
Okay, all in favor? Commissioner Allen?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to approve the request to rezone 4099 Old Petersburg Road from CC to C2 with conditional use for indoor entertainment facilities, subject to the conditions enumerated in the February 4, 2016 Planning Commissioner report.
Second.
Was the applicant present for those conditions when they were imposed? I believe this is a combination entertainment thing with bowling and some other items. In the old food line on Petersburg Road. Any further discussion? All in favor?
And along with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the request for a variance from Section 90-140 landscaping, located at 4099 Old Petersburg Road, to waive requirements for replacement landscape strips and additional parking lot landscaping condition, subject to the conditions enumerated in the February 4th, 2016 Planning Commission report.
I'll second.
I believe this is a situation where the new road's coming through and it's an existing building, and we had to make some concessions from our normal plan.
But they do have to go back and, once the road's finished, and submit a plan, correct?
That's correct.
Do some landscaping.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I would like to make a motion to disapprove the request for a variance from Section 90-135 signs, 743 North Bel Air Road, to permit 2 freestanding signs along North Bel Air Road.
Second.
Motion and a second. I believe this is, from information I got, they used up all of their sign space on the main sign coming in and would not have one on the back side where they still can use the service entrance sign, correct?
That applicant isn't here, is it? Are they?
One reason or another, they thought,
Gotcha. Communication.
well, despite communication.
Understood.
But they can accomplish what they desire to with a much smaller sign on the other entrance. Further discussion? All in favor?
All right, sir. Moving along. I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading for streetlight resolution amendment for the addition of 5 streetlights into existing streetlight District 248 at Jones Creek, Section 1.
Second.
I believe this is adding streetlights at the intersection of Evans and Lock Road and the main entrance to Jones Creek.
Yes, this is where the HOA had some additional lights put in, and then we had a streetlight district, so we're combining them all into one. They are paying a streetlight fee, so we're gonna
We're
absorb
just
those.
taking over their 5 lights.
Correct.
Further discussion? All in favor?
I would like to make a motion to approve the first reading for streetlight resolution 16-1200, Willow Oak Village, 3B, 16-1201, The Ridges, 3A, 16-1202, The Ridges, 4, 16-1203, Kalari, 1A, Resolution 16-1204, The Hamptons, 16-1205, Brantley Cove, 2, 16-1206, Williford Run, 1, 16-1207, Ellington, 4, 16-1208, Pebble Creek, 16-1209, Blanchard Estates, 16-1210, Glen Haven, Kendall, Davenport and Tanner Oaks, and Crawford Creek, and 16-1211, Bridgewater and Newbridge at Canterbury Farms.
Second.
We're going to light up the entire county, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Glad to see these streetlight additions in all these locations. Further comments? All in favor?
Is it still me? Yes, sir. I make a motion to approve reinstating the fee and collecting the $500 noncompliance permit fee effective March 1st, 2016, with the condition the homeowners should be given a one-time warning before being charged the fee. Wholeheartedly.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, and I believe this is putting a fee back for an area that we agreed not to collect a fee. It'll be further discussed and some things ironed out. And this is on starting work before you get in a building permit,
Starting work before any permit, yes, sir.
any permit.
Yes, sir.
Do we have people that do that?
Unfortunately, we do, yes, sir.
Joe, you do that?
The jumping the gun fee.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Lastly, sir, I would like to make a motion to approve the first reading of amending Chapter 18, Buildings and Building Permits, Article 3, Permits, Section 18-50.
Second.
Which item is this? I remembered us discussing it. That is,
Yacht tax.
yes, the tiers of subs that need to have an occupation tax.
That's
If they're
correct.
doing business without being on the payroll of the licensed contractor.
Correct.
Correct.
Other discussion? All in favor? Okay. Mr. Driver, no legal matters I see.
No legal matters tonight.
Do you have any additional requests to speak, Ms. Crawley? No request. Do we have any commissioner comments before we adjourn to the executive session?
Would like to recognize Mrs. Laurie Greenhill in the back row, candidate for 123.
Technically, she's not a candidate till she qualifies.
She's claiming to be, sir.
She's announced. Okay. Well, welcome back to the commission meeting. I know you've been here before. You have any other seekers of public office with us tonight?
Anybody wish they didn't seek public office?
Oh, don't bring that up. We've probably got several up here. Gentlemen, at this time, we'll accept a motion to adjourn to executive session if you so desire.
So moved.
All in favor? We are briefly adjourned.
Tag on.
Fried chicken bullet. Oh, yes.
I'd like to call the meeting back to order, please. Mr. Driver, would you give us an update on our executive session?
Yes, Chairman, we discussed one land sale matter. No action was taken. I believe an action will be taken in open session.
Okay. And I believe we have one bit of unfinished business. Commissioner Duncan?
Okay. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Development Authority of Columbia County. I make a motion to authorize staff to begin a county-initiated rezoning on tax parcel ID 072-231R.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion of this item? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. Is there any other business to come before this meeting of the commission? Is there any reason we should continue this meeting?
No, sir.
Well, someone needs to act accordingly.
Coach? Everybody's looking at me. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? We are adjourned.
Thank you.
So that was not.
I did talk to Stevie today.